for tonight's homework help, I will be doing number 7 on the back of your 8.3 part 1 worksheet. And number 7 here is 5n squared minus 17n plus 14. Oops, 14. Alright, so remember, today in class we discussed how to factor using our generic rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in that rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to place my terms in the first box and the last box. First term in the first box, last term in the last box. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to set up my diamond problem, because I need to figure out how to place the rest of those x terms, or n terms, excuse me, in this generic rectangle. So what I know is that these terms need to add to negative 17. I know that from my original problem. Those two terms need to add to negative 17n. Okay? And what they need to multiply to is found by multiplying across that diagonal in our rectangle. So if I do 5n squared times 14, get out my calculator, I get 70n squared. Okay, so I need two numbers here that multiply to 70n squared and add to negative 17n. So let's brainstorm some of those numbers here. I need to write out some factors of 70. Well, I know that 1 times 70 is an option. 2 times 35 is an option. 70 is not divisible by 3. Let's check 4. Not divisible evenly by 4. What about 5? That would be 5 and 14. Will that get me it? Well, even if I did both negatives here, that would give me negative 19, because that's the only way I'm going to get a positive number up top here, so that's not quite it. 70 divided by 6 isn't even. 70 divided by 7, though, is 7 and 10. And if I go both negatives here, I think I've got it. So if I have negative 7n and negative 10n, those would multiply to positive 70n, but they would add to negative 17. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here to my generic rectangle, and I'm going to place those in the other two boxes. And now remember, the last thing we do is we look at the GCF of each row and column. So if I take a peek at my first column here, my GCF would be a 5n. When I look at my second column here, my GCF would be a negative 7. Remember, if I have the negative first, I pull it out. Now if I come here and look at my first row, my GCF will only be n, because 5 and 7 don't share any common factors. And if I come here and take a look at my second row, well, what goes into both negative 10 and 14? That would be negative 2. So my factors here will be 5n minus 7 and n minus 2. And remember, you can always check by multiplying back out. So let's use FOIL to multiply this factored form back out. So if I do my first terms, I would get 5n squared. If I do my outside, I get negative 10n. If I do my inside, I get negative 7n. And if I do my last, I get positive 14. Combine your like terms, and you will notice that we have a match. So my final answer, my factored form, is 5n minus 7 times the quantity n minus 2. Good luck with the rest of your homework.